Stick around as my comedian friends help me chart a path to love in 2030. Next on Views and Vibes.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
It is often good practice to sometimes speculate where we are headed as a society. That way, if we find that we're going in the wrong direction, it won't be too late to change course. And there's no more difficult topic with which to attempt this exercise than love. Joining me today to look into the future of love and relationships to see where they may look like in 2030 is my expert panel of comedians. So please help me welcome back to the show from Joke Slingers, Johno Cain, comedian Jamon Darnell, and Mr. J.C. Rademas.
Thank you for having me back, Tariiq.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure to have you back.
Oh.
Absolute pleasure. Not really. 2030. All right. I want to use that time reference because if you look back, 15 years ago, it was 2000. And you just imagine how quickly that time goes by, but how much has changed in that period of time. Looking ahead 15 years to 2030, what will love look like then? Our last show we talked about, love being gone and disappeared. Where will it be in 2030? Will it return? Will there be a resurgence of love?
Hopefully.
Or can we be hopeful?
Yeah, we should be hopeful that there is a love resurrection. We should be. But what I think, Tariiq, is that in 2030, love will be like fruit today.
Old and moldy at that
No,
point?
seedless. Like, some guys will be happy, like, yo, I found love. But then others will be like, has no seeds in it. I can't, it's like a watermelon with no seeds. It's no fun. You don't get that anymore. Love in 2030 is going to be like.
Again, I'm confused. Go ahead, Johno.
Love in 2030 is not going to exist the way that we think it is, or the way that we know it today or have known it. It's going to be, dudes are going to figure out that they can either go to the website and they can quickly get a girl for 18 roses, or they can get a robot. They can buy a robot, man, that looks exactly like their housewife. It's submissive. It programs however you want it to.
Man.
So it's going to be,
seedless. so love and future, you really don't need another human being.
Yeah, that's true, man. Like, it's just.
Man.
Think about the way they can reproduce all their own stuff now. Like, they can make babies in a test tube. Like, Like, the population will continue.
So we're headed to the Matrix, basically.
You are. We are on our way.
Man, okay. JC.
Everybody out there in TV land, don't listen to these two cats because clearly one's very depressed and the other one lacks the experience. So just like now, love is not going to change. Our society will change in how we perceive things. What I see happening when it comes to, say, love per se, is role reversal.
So women will pursue men.
They're going to pursue. They're pursuing them now. They're going to do it more, even more aggressively. It's going to be very common, like how it is in Germany. For over there, it's really common for a woman to send a man a drink. Here, shh, yeah, right. But in 30 years, women will be making the first call. They will be approaching dudes like extra hard, and it will be how it is now, but just flip upside down.
Okay,
and
so-
I can't wait.
So women are going to be like smacking men on the butt and running like in junior high school?
From your mouth to God's ear. Yeah. That's how I see it. I see things happening differently and us being more accepting of it. They say,
So are we already on that path right now? Are we on the path where women are going to be the pursuers?
I mean, because we already have stay-at-home dads and stuff like that. 30 years ago, no. I mean, you were starting to see it 15 years ago. 15 years in the future, to be like, Tariiq, you work? No, I stay at home. My wife does this. Oh, okay.
I like the way that
before,
sounds. I like
yeah,
that. I
but
like
before they'd be like, you're not a real man. Before they're
Right.
like, oh, okay, yeah, me too.
It's much more acceptable.
Yes, that's where I see it going. And it's not like you don't love your wife. That's where time is taking us.
Wow, okay. All right, so if love has disappeared right now in 2015, like some of us had already said, in 2030, what will it actually look like? Not the relationships, but just in terms of the way that we feel about each other.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
know what
because
he
I
means.
think it's going to be
Like,
the same.
It would, how we feel about each other.
Because right now it seems like, we're very distant from one another.
Right.
It's really about superficial things. It's about, you mentioned microwave earlier, microwave society. Everybody wants something instantly.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to be, as 2030 approaches, are we going to want things more instantly? Are we going to be looking for more, instant gratification? Or are we going to step back and say, that didn't work in 2015. So, maybe we need to approach this differently.
Yes, it will. But the thing is this, the way that we'll be able to communicate our love is going to be even more expedient. Because like you said, we are a microwave society. I did a show about it too. It's called The End Game with J.C. Rademas, right here on this station. So
Never heard of it.
the thing, you can have it this way, where you can be in love with someone in Paris or someone in Auckland, New Zealand, or what have you, and you could be just in love as the person that live together right here. That I see happening.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
So we'll be able to overcome distance in a way that we can't do right now.
Oh, yeah. And they're going to create tools for that, like what he said. Little pocket joints.
Little robot.
They hook up to your iPod.
So you mean to tell me it's going to be like love in a can?
Oh, yeah. That's a
in
good way to put it for this
Already on
station.
its way for that.
I can't say what I want to say.
So hey, you know something?
And we thank you for that.
And that's going to be like horrible.
Oh, okay. Well, listen here,
gonna
Uncle
be
Ruckus. Look, that's horrible for you. It's going to be great for me and my little
Like, you're
French
gonna-
sweetie.
Like, yeah, you're gonna be like, here's my girlfriend. This is her, and it's
gotta
gonna be.
plug her in.
Yeah. This is her. Look at her on my phone.
I mean, 'cause
Hey,
one of the things we didn't talk about, in the last show is that, you look at the young people coming up right now, the way that they interact with one another, a lot of times is through social media, is through, texting and,
The internets.
Yeah, so they're not interacting in the same way anymore. They'll be where we are now in 2030. And so will they continue to be that way? Will they, because just like Carlos said, if people are already comfortable communicating and forming relationships, over their phone or over their computers, do they even need personal connections anymore?
well,
Will they need it in 2030?
Those connections that they will have in the future like that, even though they're thousands of miles away, will be just as strong as the people that live right there a block away or in the same house, maybe even better, because what will happen is we will fantasize these things. We will romanticize, like, wow.
It'll be better because of Photoshop.
You know what?
That too.
You know what?
You would just be thinking it's better. when
You
actually
guys
it's
sound
It's
like
a
that
lot of
scene
hype.
from Judge Dredd when
boy.
he had when one of them, I think Sandra Bullock, whatever.
Oh, not Judge. That was Demolition Man.
Yeah, Demolition Man. When she
Demolition
put the
Man.
helmet on and she was able to have love
without
and
sex.
everything,
Right.
and right
Without
there.
touching.
I'm sure a lot of the
very-
audience
very
haven't seen it,
Yeah.
or maybe even some of the panel, but if you watch that movie, Her, it'll be like that. This dude was in love with his modem in his computer.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't a physical person.
Right.
That's where I see it going. And the way he cared about that, you got people that love their cars more than their wife. So you don't think I'm going to actually love a woman who's actually real, just not in my proximity?
So you're telling me that Siri is going to be getting married?
Somebody will try to marry Siri, yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, all right.
Somebody will definitely
And
try
hey,
to be the first
it's
one
up to
marry
them.
Siri.
If that's how you get yours, hey, as long as you don't bother me and mine.
Yeah,
That's how I see it.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, love and marriage.
See, Jamal don't like that. He's like, no, I'll just stick to good old-fashioned porn. That's what I'm used to.
Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me in the future when someone's making love and they, reaching that pinnacle of love making, it's going to be like a little shock in their pants. You're just going to hear, zzz, zzz, and it's like,
I
uh-oh,
hope
somebody's
it's not
pregnant.
a little shock.
Somebody's pregnant.
Little tiny shot.
If you're able to get an inanimate object pregnant, you a bad dude. That's an upside to it.
Yeah, I think relationships are like the generations behind us. I mean, the pendulum will always swing. I don't know if it swings after that generation. Like, if that's their tactics, that's going to become the new tactics. That's going to be the new mentality. But it's a big hype machine already. Like, younger generations and stuff like that use social media for a hype or a persona compared to an actual. And if you're really truly looking for a love or a connection like we used to think of, then like you can't find that in, you know what I mean, in the way that it's presented, in that type of a package.
Okay.
You're never gonna find it.
All right, we're gonna have to continue this conversation on the other side of our break, so make sure you come back afterwards to check out some more views and vibes.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back, guys. We got a lot of stuff going on in the studio right now. But going back to another topic that we talked about in the last show, you know, about 2015, looking at 2030, how will you actually find love in 2030? Now, if you have, you know, your person all the way over in France, how did you find her?
Well, you go to ILikeFrenchChicks.com.
Yeah, you
Okay,
pay
so
for it. You
all right,
pay for it.
all right, so
You pay for it. Hands down.
even though
Everything, you're gonna be paying for everything.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're gonna have to
oh,
buy
yeah.
love?
Everything is monetized.
man.
You already
Absolutely.
do.
It's already on its way.
You gotta be kidding
Y'all
me.
buy love?
Yes.
Bro, everybody
Yes.
buys love.
This
how
has been going on for years.
how do people buy love? How is it used? What do you mean?
Well, just
Going out to dinner.
That's right. Yeah, taking them where they want to go, showing them a good time. Anywhere you go, I've spent a bunch of money to make that connection, to go out.
You spent money?
Somebody
Sound like
somebody
JC.
spent money, whether it's gas, whether it's buying jewelry, whether it's
Look at Jamal. Hold on. So you're
Going
telling
to
me
the
you haven't
movies.
spent money on any of the women you
Listen,
dated?
I'm gonna say this. Listen.
on your wife. She
Listen,
never
listen. I'm gonna say this.
She was happy.
No, I'm gonna
That's
keep
why
it.
they're
I'm
not
gonna-
together now.
Right.
Yes,
I'm gonna say, why you divorced?
Listen. Really. Right. You don't buy love, right? All those things that you're doing, those are activities that cost in order for her to see that you like to do those things, and this is what you want to do with that person.
So you're renting love.
Right. Well, not even renting. Love is, you don't buy love. Love is generated. It's created through the chemistry, through the artistry of both individuals. Just because you take her all of these hundreds of places, she still might not love you.
Whoa, hundreds. Come on now.
Well, that's what
Five,
they were saying.
five at most.
Okay, you got a
Five,
place
okay,
limit.
five.
These guys was all over the place. They was like Six Flags in the morning, King
wow.
Dominion in the evening.
Wow.
and
That's
100
$100.
stuff.
You really
Want
doing
some
it.
money,
Listen,
man.
hold on. Listen, love, right? You don't buy love. You cannot buy love. Love is actually a feeling, right? You didn't buy the love for your mom. You didn't buy the love for your brother, your sister, even some of the people, even your buddies. You didn't buy that love. You didn't.
Because the love has sustained, they didn't buy stuff for you.
Right. So
that's what we're talking about.
well, no, okay, I understand.
In order to sustain love.
Okay, to sustain love, you just gotta be honest with yourself and with the individual.
So if you
Now,
have no money, don't worry about it. You're not gonna be able to stay together.
well, guess what? You'll get money together.
Good intentions will make you pay out the nose for anything. You can sell anything based on good intentions being the marketing point, you know?
Well,
and like with future generations, like they're not gonna look at that as that mentality. They
Love
already don't.
But love is a sensation. Love is a feeling, right?
I know
Okay.
10 people.
You
10 people
can't
that,
buy
like,
love.
They love.
The Beatles said
they
it
love
best.
certain girls that don't love them back, and they would pay to have them.
Two things
They
I
would
wanna say.
pay
Because
good
they're
money to have
idiots.
them.
They're idiots.
Sure, but
that
people
may-
that
that
spend
may
money
be.
are
Hold on.
idiots,
They'll
and
still
that's
do
who
it.
I
They'll
want
still
the
do
money
it.
from.
Hold on,
Man,
I gotta say something.
he's coming out his seat
I gotta say
now.
something. Yeah,
Here he
because
comes.
Jamal's driving me crazy. First of all, if you say you don't buy the love.
you know what that's
Let me tell you
called.
something. Let me tell you
You know
something.
who-
If you don't do those things,
okay.
do you think that you're actually going to get somewhere with that young lady? No. She's
Listen.
going to see, okay, this dude, he don't buy flowers, he don't
gotta
do
pay
this,
to
he don't
play.
nothing. Unless she's paying for y'all to go out, then you become the
what I'm
bride.
saying
Which
is-
might be the case in 2030. If the
right.
women are doing
No.
pursuing, they
Right.
may be the ones paying.
So
And
what
I
I'm
said
saying
that,
is-
but still, they're paying for it. one way or another. Second, let me tell you the power of the vagina.
Listen.
That thing is strong, and it's going to make you do things you don't normally want to do. Now, if that hasn't happened to you, well, I wish you good luck in your next
get my
romantic
face
adventure.
again. Get my face again.
Look, if you don't think that you're going to be paying for it.
No, listen, like you buying love, like that's why it doesn't work for you guys, because you're trying to buy it as opposed to build it.
It's working for me.
Buy
What are you
love.
talking about?
No, but guess
It
what?
works for me.
Listen, guess what? Sometimes when you go through a situation, right? You say, okay, I'm divorced, right? You go, oh, he's divorced because I didn't do this. No, it's because the chemistry wasn't right? And I refuse to stay in the relationship, hindering myself or anyone else because the chemistry isn't right? I didn't. It wasn't about the purchasing of the love, right? I'm gonna tell you guys something. Who would you sound like when you say you buy love? You know the name of guys who buy love? You know their name?
Johns.
Exactly. So no offense, Johno.
I'm fine with that.
Or JC. What's the JC for?
So you trying to buy love? You think that you bought her? No, you didn't. You just treated her on a bunch of things to make her be impressed with who you are.
Now, please
but
allow
you
me
can't
to
impress her.
If you're looking for chemistry, like you have to buy the tubes to mix the chemicals up and to make the potion.
Listen.
You've got to spend money.
Go ahead, but I got
what
next.
book I
I
read.
gotta see that. I want to hear him break that down. Break that down for me. Come on, chemistry teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna make a potion or you're gonna make something come together, somebody paid big money to make aspirin. They paid a lot of money to create aspirin. So if you're looking for the chemistry of something, you have to pay to play. Like I can't even read a news article online without them suggesting that I submit or I become a subscriber, and eventually it's gonna become paying. Like eventually everything leads down the road to, oh, you like doing that? Oh, you've become comfortable with that? We're gonna make you pay for that.
But okay, for everything that they have that's created in the laboratory, it contains a natural substance from somewhere, right? So that means
somebody had to grow it.
Right.
Somebody
If you
bought the
have,
rights to
guess
it.
what? If you like you mentioned aspirin, right? You know what? Also, the alternative cure for that aspirin is just rest.
Or exercise. Exercise too.
This is where he's wrong.
No.
Aspirin is actually a plant that they can use. But you know what you need to do to get that plant?
Okay.
You need to buy it.
Oh no, but guess
Okay,
what?
let's get away from all the analogies and cliches here. 'Cause I think we're starting to confuse people. I'm confused.
Because now we're
So
talking
let me just
chemistry.
break it down. I'm gonna just say it like this: love cannot be purchased; it must be built
Okay.
And you build that over time.
through your actions and your honesty.
Those actions cost money.
Now-
Now, when you were saying, hold on real quick, because when you were saying how people look at you and say, yeah, you were divorced and it was all about chemistry. Well, if you had the mindset of, I'm not paying for this and not paying for that, yeah, I guess your chemistry is wrong because she wants you to pay for stuff and you don't want to. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out if you're dating. It's not going to work out in any fashion.
We didn't say my divorce was based on a monetary issue, right?
No. You said about chemistry. But when we were saying how you're going to pay for it, and you said, no, you don't pay for it. Yes, you do.
Love. You don't pay for love in itself. Okay.
pay for it with your
if you love
time, you
humans,
pay
right?
for it with-
If you love humans, right? All right. So you see an old lady.
Who doesn't love humans?
Right, and you see an old lady going across the street, right?
There's a lot of
How
people
many
that don't
times?
love
How many times do we hold the door for people? Right? How many times do we give particular gestures out of the goodness of our heart, out of the love that we have? That's what we're doing. We're giving that, right? So you're gonna perform that. You didn't purchase anything. Your chivalry doesn't come with a price. You act upon it. It's within. It's a human nature. So love, when you buy in love, what? Who does that? That's why you guys, all right, I'm divorced, but I'm in a new relationship. Ha-ha, guess who's mad? Guess who's mad? The ex. Ha-ha, because she sees that, guess what? She has yet to, and I'm not trying to, she got to accept, sometimes we got to, we got to accept when things are not right, right?
Yeah.
The thing about it is we get propagated into thinking that, okay, for better or for worse. Well, okay, it's good. Good is easy to deal with. But when it gets worse, that's when everything is really, you can see the true colors, right? And it gets real, right? And you see where you are. So if it's not working at those points of realness and you're arguing, you're fussing, you're fighting, you're degrading one another, and you bring it down the environment and the household, somebody has to leave. It can't continue. Yeah. That doesn't mean you don't love that person. Right? It just means that you love that person enough not to continue to bring them down.
No, that's the dopest thing you said thus far.
Because I'm smart.
All right, look at guys. We're gonna take a quick break. As you can tell, they're comedians. That's why we're so serious right now. When we come back, though, we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to talk about marriage in 2030. So stick around. Yeah, this should be fun. So come back to more Views and Vibes after this.
When every moment matters and a hand reaches out, when someone gives blood and a life is saved, that moment when heartbreak turns to hope, you're there through the American Red Cross. Every day, the Red Cross responds to nearly 200 neighborhood emergencies, and your support makes it possible. Use this moment to join us today. Visit redcross.org.
Welcome back to Views and Vibes. Oh man, I love the breaks we have. We're looking at love in 2030. And so with my comedian friends here, we're going to talk about what marriage will look like in 2030. We're already talking about, okay, if women are doing the pursuing in 2030, and we said in the last show that women are ones who want to get married more so than men. What's marriage actually going to look like at that point?
Polygamy, since we already...
Wow. So women can have more, multiple men, or men can have multiple
vice
women?
versa. I guess if she'll say, hey, you know what? I need more than one man, and I'm going to have more than one man, and it's allowed, we just may be there. We just may say, hey, look at this guy. He got like 6 wives. He's doing good. Like, and then we'll look at one guy, she got like 4 or 5 husbands. She's doing good. And they're like, look at them. They're together. They're doing bad. It's just them 2. Like,
it's just the 2 of them.
It's the 2 of them.
They're doing horrible in 2030.
I definitely see polyamory, that's what it's called, when becoming more and more common. Like a lot of things that are really on the down, not maybe the down low, but it's not that popular, being way more popular 15 years from now.
Yeah, no.
I mean, 15 years ago, I used to do internet dating a lot, and people were like, what? You met on the internet? Now it's like, oh, yeah. All right, what site?
Right.
And I feel you want a gay marriage. That wasn't out there.
That wasn't popular 10 years ago. It wasn't popular.
It wasn't popular like 5 years ago.
No, that's true, yeah.
That's something very
new.
But
It's still rocky in certain areas.
Within this administration.
So in 2030, you're going to be looking at, multiple marriages.
Yeah. That'll bring us out of the deficit. Because so many marriage certificates per household, that'll help raise money for your state.
So are we looking at less divorce then? if we have people.
I say less divorce, but also less marriages too, unless we do the polyamory thing. But yeah, no, I take it back. There's going to be less marriages. They're already saying it now. You have so many more people over 30 not married, more ever in history. It's just going to go up.
Even if you look at if you look at the current European models, especially like in northern Scandinavian countries, marriage isn't as big of a thing. They're not. Marriage is much more of a religious institution, particularly here in America.
Right.
But we have, certain nations who aren't as religious. They're not getting married in the same ways. They have, they're staying together in long-term relationships. But marriage, people need to really turn away from the institution of marriage. Mm-hmm. Do you see us moving in that direction as well?
Yeah,
I do. I definitely think that you would have to shorten the institution of marriage, because I think a lot of traditions that we used to hold commonplace in America and stuff like that, generations are turning away from, just in general. So I don't see marriage being one that, I see it standing longer, but I don't see it standing.
So those people who actually get married will stay married longer, but it'll be less people actually getting married.
Right, because they'll be getting married later on in life, and they know what they want, and they both are established, as opposed to getting married at 18, right out of high school, and such. Also, I see less children, because you have more women not wanting to have kids, period, and maybe having 1 or 2. Yeah. Before, back in the day, you only got 3 kids? What's wrong with you? Your thing work? And even before that, when we're going into like the 1800s, they had like 5 and 8.
Well, they may have 5 and 8, but only 3 of them will survive because,
but they had them. They had them.
Right. They also didn't have birth control.
Another reason, yep.
Yeah,
And you know what? And another
up.
reason why I think it's going to go down, they're working on it, and they're going to have male birth control. Oh, man. By 2050, the population of this planet is going to be like 50.
I think the divorce rate in the process of divorce will be a much quicker process in 2013. You'll be able to like call in.
Instagram it.
Yeah. Hey, this was done. This was done. Unfriended. It's going to be a quick, it's going to be a quicker process. But I think marriage is the institution of marriage is always going to be around. It's just not going to be recognized on paper. It's going to be recognized through the individuals. You're going to treat her or him as a husband or a wife, and
even without the paper.
Even without the paper, and you will introduce it that way. Like, hey, this is my wife. You may even get the rings. You may not. You may say, hey, we don't have to do all of what the state may say or they may say for us to do to be married. This is our marriage. This is our union, and nothing's going to come in between it.
Yeah, I do see it happening more like that.
I don't agree. No, because
I definitely agree with that.
Two things. One, we're going to be a smarter society in 2030. So we're going to be doing things a lot smarter.
Have you watched the news recently?
Yeah, right. Like, I don't think we're on a
I don't think we're going in that direction.
Don't believe that hype. More people are going to college now. More people, even if you don't go to college, you're around more educated people. I mean, that's why on your applications now, when you applying for a job, they said, do you have any college? Like 2 years at least. We're being a more educated society. And when you do determine to uncouple, which is now the popular term, as opposed to divorce, you got to separate that property. And you're going to have to do that on the legal terms. You can't do that if I say, I don't want to be with you no more. Legally, something's going to turn it. And the reason why that is because more educated society.
But I think that's the turnoff of marriage in general is the division of property and labeling property, and that's why I think a lot of people probably won't go into a route like that anyways and make a contract that, you know, you either have to sign a prenup for or then like make a new contract on top of that contract just so that you don't get caught in some financial thing. I can see people doing more unions, more civil unions and things like that, stuff that the state, the government, they're not involved. There is no paper trail. Like, we made a commitment. I can see that happening more. But, like, you're right. When it comes down to the division of property and stuff like that, I guess that's the whole, and that's my point. That's the whole reason of marriage, is so that at the end of the day, you can be like, well, yeah, she was a person that was with him the whole time, but were they married? So who gets what? Who gets the house? Like, you know, she's lived there for 20 years.
They will screw each other up.
They will screw each other up.
So I just can't trust me like, yeah, this is your toaster and this is my chair.
If it's definitely about a thing of we're going to leave each other, we're going to get a divorce, somebody's going to say, you know something? You can have that. Because you can't put a price on my peace of mind and my freedom. Right. You can have the house, you can have the car, you can have that. I'm just out. I'm out. Right? And consider me one of the forerunners in that movement. I definitely said
everything behind.
Exactly, because guess what? If I got it once, I can get it again, right? Sure. And if it's blessed upon you, then it'll be blessed upon you later.
But you're a more rational thinking person. Now, somebody really petty, like your boy, I might say, I work for that. Nah, give me mines. No, that's mine.
I can see him doing that too. I can see Jason doing that.
I will burn this mofo down.
I can see him single.
Barely.
And he'll be the only guy with a nice big old mansion and a twin bed.
Oh, if I got a nice big old mansion and a twin bed, it's with a set of twins in it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, we're gonna be wrapping up soon. So, any final words on your thoughts about love in 2030?
Love in 2030. I hope it just resurrects itself into love like in 1930.
Okay. All right. Johno.
In 2030, it's gonna be more about what you love, not who you love.
Okay. All right. And JC Rademas.
I see love in 2030 being the way it's supposed to be. Everybody getting whatever they want. If you want this, you want that. It's a one-stop shop. I mean, there's too much variety out there. You can get whatever you want. I know 1930. 1930, I could only date black chicks. Nah, 2030, oh man, everything.
No, it's not about the race of the individual.
In 1930.
No, I'm saying that. We're talking about.
They didn't have laws in the book from 1930.
Right. We're talking about love, right?
Just love,
right.
purity of love.
It's not going to have any color barrier. But what I'm saying is it comes back to being more of a. I want it to come back to more of a genuineness.
So love is going to be everything that we don't have right now. All right, guys. I want to thank my guests, Mr. Johno Cain, Jamon Darnell, and Mr. J.C. Rademas for coming on the show today and joining us. If you would like to find out more information about these guys, please visit our website, viewsandvibes.com. Until next time, I am Tariiq Omari Walton, and this has been Views and Vibes.